Hello everyone, Pallytime here. Welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. In today's A through Z playthrough, we have landed upon the Butcher. The Butcher. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Up here it says the. Every time I do an A through Z, for months, people are like, why'd you skip the Butcher? The Butchers and the Bees. Why'd you skip him? I don't understand. All right. So we're here. It's the one and only Butcher. He just got a gigantic talent rework that essentially made him more vulnerable in the early game because he has to do things like building up his blood stacks or his meat stacks significantly faster. Or has to put significantly more emphasis on that, I guess I would say. It definitely takes a long time. But once he does build that up, once he does hit that threshold where he doesn't have to farm anymore, his damage just goes through the roof. So hopefully we can do that today. We just have to remember to be safe in the early game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves on the Infernal Shrines today. I remember the name of the map. So this is going to be a really difficult game. The friendly team, Abathur, Samuro, Vala, Raynor, and the Butcher. The enemy team, Jaina, Nova, Asmodan, Gul'dan, Vala. So essentially, if I overextend, there's no one here to save me. If I overextend, I'm probably going to be the focus of the enemy team. If the enemy team decides they want to kill me, they can. So we're going to have to play really, really smart and really passive and kind of pick our engagements appropriately if we want to have any luck in this game. At level 1, we are going to go for Abattoir. Which is going to make our blood stacking a little bit easier. So, there was an ongoing joke about the Butcher previously, that the Butcher has all the tools he needs to get himself into trouble, and none of the tools that he needs to get himself out of trouble. And in a lot of ways, that is still completely fucking true. He has extremely hard engage with his E ability. It allows him to dive in. He becomes unstoppable up to the point that he impacts with the target that he's charging. And then he has a slow on his Q. It's a skill shot, does a little bit of cleave damage, does a little bit of AoE damage, and allows him to slow a target down, make it easier to hit him. He has his W ability, the Butcher's Brand, that allows him to heal off of a target. So if he is taking some damage, he could then just sit there, wail into that target, keep him still, and heal for a considerable amount off of them. What's going now? Hopefully Vala can get up here and we can get a kill. No. All right. You're still going in, Vala. All right. Good talking with you. Oh, I thought it was going to be my fault. When someone says wow in chat, I just assume it's going to be my fault. You know what I'm saying? But he still, even after the rework, he still has all of those problems. In fact, I would say after the rework, he is harder to play, especially in the early game. If you are denied farm in the early game, if you are in a place where you just cannot get up to a minion wave because of a particular matchup, then you are going to be in a bad spot for a long time. The good Butchers these days are the ones that can stack up blood faster than anyone else, or stack up meat faster than anyone else. Because once you hit that 125 threshold, all of your damage just goes through the roof. All of a sudden, you are a monster on the battlefield, and you can just completely trade with anyone. But getting to that point is extremely difficult. We are going to go for hamstring length here, I think. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Just so it'll help us with our minion wave clear just a little bit. We're completely outpushed in the middle lane, and I want to go in and I want to help. But I can't quite do it yet. Again, we have to focus on farming or we are going to be in a very bad spot. And now I'm in a position where I have to go in because if I don't, I'm just going to die. I have no way of catching up to Vala there. If she turns around, we might be able to kill her. I think Nova's gotten me, though. Now that we've died, because of our abattoir talent, we're only going to lose 5 stacks of meat as opposed to 10. So it makes that kind of curve up to 125 a little bit easier to deal with in a game where you don't have a front line, where you don't have a support, and you are going to be dying a lot. Now, again, I do want to help with this objective. I would love to, but I also need to be focusing on blood. The fact that we are basically ahead on the objective, though, means I do have to go in and I do have to help. So we're going to put the team's needs in front of my own needs. Hamstring can clear this shit out no problem. And then once these guys decide they want to move in, we can just engage really, really hard on them. And it should be pretty impactful. That's a dead Jaina right there, boys. Nothing she can do about that. That is what the Butcher excels at. He excels at finding a target that's overextended and killing the shit out of them. Not kind of like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of a touch party over here, whatever the fuck that is. I don't even know what that means. But it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna come over and I'm gonna tickle you and then I'm gonna leave. No, if you're overextended, the Butcher will kill you. Especially when he hits level 10 and is able to lock down targets like crazy with Lamb to Slaughter. Now we need to keep an eye on the minimap right now. There's only 2 people showing. Oh, never mind. Now there's a bunch of people showing. Nova appears to be rotating up here. And we just need to be aware of that. We are gonna go for... Oh, hello. We are gonna go for... do we want to go for movement speed? I think we're gonna go for Unstable Blade, actually. We could go for Victuals. Every time a nearby minion dies, you regain 4% of your maximum health. But I think I'm just gonna go for pure trading into these guys with the Unstable Blade. Is that what it was? Yeah. So we're gonna put our Butcher's brand on targets like that Asmodee there, and then we should be able to chase after them, no problem. Again, you'll notice I'm not super hard committing to these fights that no one's overextended in. I'm trying to take it really, really easy, nice and cool. We're keeping an eye on the mini-map. We're trying to make sure we don't overextend, because if we overextend, there's basically no way for us to get away. How do I want to put this? We capitalize on people being overextended, but we have no way of fixing our problem of overextending at the same time. So we're extremely weak to the same thing that we are extremely strong to. There's 3 down in the bottom lane, so we'll push top pretty hard. The Butcher also has like the highest single target damage in the game. So in the right team comp, let's say if you're on Infernal Shrines and you're dealing some damage, he can deal just about more damage than anyone else in the game. Or excuse me, Battlefield of Eternity. If you're fighting those Immortals, he can deal basically more damage to those Immortals than anyone else in the game. If you have a Tyrande on your team that's able to give vulnerability to those targets, well, they're basically just gonna die. Do we want to soak to 10 prior to the objective? I kind of want to. Let's come in here on Gul'dan and see what he does. Alright, that's all we're doing. Oh, never mind, she did it. That was good. Now, if I wanted to run into those towers, that would be 5 blood right there that I could pick up, but I don't really want to run into that. We do have numbers advantage now and level advantage versus this enemy team, so let's try to push in here. I am going to go in on the Asmodee because he has the fewest amount of ways to actually get away from me. The Butcher's brand is on top of him, and we are going to be able to take him down. Hamstring, see, right now, you see what I'm saying? I pushed in a little too far. I stayed a little bit too long. Once we got that kill on Asmodee, should have pieced out. Didn't do that. And we were punished for it. We are going to pick up Lamb to Slaughter, throwing a... Oh, I've never read this description. We're going to throw a hitching post that attaches to the nearest enemy hero after 1 second of delay. This deals 253 damage and causes the enemy to be chained to the post and silenced for 3 seconds. Now, prior to the rework, this did receive some changes. Previously, it... What the fuck did it do before? I know they added the silence. I know for a fact they added the silence, but I don't remember why they added the silence. Let's go in on their Gul'dan here. For the life of me, I don't remember why they added the silence. Just go ahead and silence this Asmodee here. He's not going to be able to move anywhere, and he's basically just going to be killed. So, like, that same thing happened before, where you would lock a target down, and they can't move out of that area, and there's nothing anyone can do to save them. I wonder if healers were like cleansing themselves or something. That used to be a thing they could do, right? Going in hard on the enemy team's Jaina here. We're going to hit her with the hamstring, slow her down. Now we're on Nova. All right, I don't want a Nova kill that bad. But the boss was able to help us out. The Infernal. Good for him. We're at 85 blood, and we need to continue to farm this. And I need to heal off of something. So we're just going to relocate down to probably the middle lane and get that going. We should be relatively safe here. The Punisher's still doing some good work up top. Now, my Butcher's Brand, our W ability, will not heal me off of things like buildings. But let's cancel that one. I wasn't feeling too good about that one. But any other thing with the health bar, any minion or hero on the enemy team, if I can just auto-attack them with the Butcher's Brand up, we will receive a significant amount of healing. If you want to stop the Butcher from surviving, just run away from him when there's a big-ass X on you. I do think we are going to go for... Do we want to go for Cleaver here? Cleaver would actually be really good on this map. Normally I would go for Brutal Strike, which is just like it increases the amount of damage you do on the next few auto attacks, which is really, really strong. But I think since this map is all about cleaving anyway, we're just going to go for Cleaver and hopefully get even more of an advantage on these shrines. We are significantly ahead on levels, and I'm assuming that is because of our Abathur. He's doing a great job there. Let's charge in on this volley here. We're going to pick up that kill, and then, again, I don't really have any good way to get away from these guys, so we're just going to die. Like, it seemed really good when we went in. There's a Vala. Things I did wrong. I saw the Vala. I didn't verify the position of anyone else on the minimap, and I just went in. You're basically asking for trouble in that regard. Jaina kind of takes our weakness of not being able to get away from overextending and just, like, exploits the shit out of it with her constant slows. So we have to be really, really, really careful. And it's so hard, for me anyway, to ride that line of, I can be really aggressive here. And I know that I can get away if I continue to be aggressive here. It's like, that is by far the hardest part of playing the Butcher. Mechanically, it's so easy. Just go attack stuff. Like, there's nothing complicated about that. We need to take this time now to stack up my blood, though. We really have to get that done. The enemy team is going to be moving in for that objective really soon. And we just need to move in here, cleave these guys down, and try to get to 125 as soon as possible. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that before this objective really gets going. But we do have a numbers advantage and a significant level advantage, so I actually don't feel bad about prioritizing the bottom lane really quick, just for me. The objective is up, and we haven't even really started on it. And if anyone on the enemy team wants to come, like, attack me right now, they'll die. Unless they rotate down in, like, massive numbers here, which I don't think they'll be doing. We are going to go for basic attacks grant movement speed and attack speed for 3 seconds, stacking up to 5 times, which basically just means that when we catch someone out like this Azmodan here, we can kill Azmodan no problem. But now we're going to get into some issues, team. I don't know, I think I'm okay. That fear is going to suck. But I think that fear also gave me enough room to get away. We can charge again in a few seconds. If she wants to roll into me, that's fine. Ah! Fucking Butcher is so hard to play! I mean, I was completely overextended in a 1v3 with the top hat of Abathur. I guess it was a 2v3. So, I mean, the fact that I managed to pick up 1 kill there was probably a good thing. Also, we created a ton of space for our allies to move in here and just do this objective. No problemo. Actually, we almost picked up 2 kills there. We almost had the Azmodan. We almost had him. I want to stress that the Butcher is not a character that I play at all. But I do think he has a spot in the game. And again, I think he's one of those characters that kind of excels in quick match. If you want to, like, skyrocket your win rates and your MMR and shit. Kind of like Medivh, where your team has a significant advantage with a Medivh on your team if you queue without a support because he can support. I think the Butcher can capitalize on people overextending so easily that he's great for quick match. He's great for unorganized play, and it doesn't really matter what you queue up against. In the most cases, like, we can do okay in this type of a scenario. If we had a warrior and a support with us, we'd be doing even better. Now, I do want to point out that Imposing Presence completely cripples anything and everything that the Butcher could ever hope to do. It completely ruins everything the Butcher tries to do because he lives and dies from his auto attack. Everything we've been building for is focusing on auto attacks. By auto attacking, we attack and move faster. By auto attacking, we heal ourselves for more. We have to be auto attacking. If you can CC the Butcher, he will die. If you get Imposing Presence, you significantly cut down on the amount of self-sustain that the Butcher has. And that can be so devastating as a Butcher player. So if you pick the Butcher early in a draft and the enemy team picks up a double warrior, you're basically you're in some trouble. You're in for some trouble. That being said, this is exactly what he was weak to before. All the talent rework did is make you play significantly safer in the early game, and then allow you to play significantly more aggressive in the late game. We just finished our quest. We have 125 blood. I feel like that took me a really long time. But now that we've finished that, we just fucking deal a shit ton more damage. More auto attack damage. There's nothing to it. Like, we just got better because we finished that quest. I'm coming in on this if we want to go. I mean, the Gul'dan... Oh yeah, the Gul'dan's mine. Let's go ahead and just drop this silence. We're going to heal off of him. And then we're going to try to kill this Nova, which we should be able to do just fine, because there's nothing she can do to get away. Let's turn around on this Asmodad now. Go ahead and stun this so he doesn't just kill us to death with that. And then heal with the Butcher's Brand. We can't heal with the Brand anymore. We're out of healing. We're out of healing, but we're fine. We're fine. I'm going to make it. We're going to be okay. Now, those are the kind of plays that you can make now with the Butcher that feel so good. They feel so good. Like, that is the reason to play him. Like, those moments right there are phenomenal. But you have to be okay with understanding that you're one of the weakest characters in the early game up until the point that you kind of build up that sustain. And that's not going to be for everyone. We are going to go for Nexus Blades, which just makes us better at auto-attacking. Just makes us better at that thing that our entire build is based around. I really need a sippy cup. I'm going to go do that. I'm gonna go do that sippy cup thing. Try me water. I took a sip in real life and in the video game. It's the new fucking meta. The friendly team's gonna finish that off. No problem. We're gonna move in here and hide in this bush, I think. Gul'dan's completely overextended in the bottom lane. I'll try to get this for the enemy team. We could do that so fucking quick. And we have the top hat of Abathur, making this even better. Beautiful. Absolutely fucking beautiful. This should be the last push of the game. I don't really see the enemy team being able to stop us here. We're level 20, they're 2 levels down, and we have this gigantic objective pushing in with us. My charge was interrupted by the death of Nova there, which, I mean, I guess there's worse things that could happen. I can't really charge in right now, though. We're at half health, and I don't have an easy... Why am I dying? Alright, well... Guess I'm gonna leave, everybody. Good luck, have fun. Bye. One of the cool things about the Butcher now as well is the fact that you can still continue to stack damage even after you've completed your quest. So it's kind of always incentivizing you to perform well, because there is that damage incentive that's going to be gained from performing well. He's very focused on the idea of always gathering meat and becoming stronger now, which I think is a pretty cool concept. Oh, all right, well, you don't see too many MVP Abathurs, do you? That's pretty cool. I think the 0 death thing helps out Abathurs quite a bit. I'm actually surprised he had 0 deaths when you consider that the enemy team had a Nova as well. But the build that I used for today's video was pretty standard as of right now, I think. I went for Abattoir at level 1, Flail Axe level 4, Insatiable Blade at level 7, Lamb to the Slaughter, Cleaver, Blood Frenzy, and Nexus Blades. If you can auto-attack, you will win. Nearly every time. Please rate the hero you played. He's very good. He's hard countered by Imposing Presence, though. Up next we have... Oh, shit!